So we just finished up a 3-day training course, a pistol rifle combo course with Bill Blowers of Tabrack Tactical and Mark Smith of JBS Training. Overall, it was an excellent course. Both of them are very intense and like to work, but kind of on two ends of the spectrum. One is a very matter of fact, let's do things with a Bill Blowers, and then kind of this laid backness of Mark Smith. One as a defensive tactical shooter with a very long extended law enforcement SWAT background, the other one as a good American and competitive shooter. And both of those two people believing in performance and believing in validating both the techniques and the tactics that you use, and working on using a shot timer and using standards and using accuracy, using speed, using all of those things to try to validate your skills and the skills that you're currently using, the skills that they're trying to teach you, and seeing if you should be changing those things. They work really hard, so there's not a lot of breaks. There's a lot of shooting, but all of the shooting is intentional. It's not just putting rounds down range just for the sake of putting rounds down range. I would say also there's while speed is a huge emphasis, they did a really good job of balancing speed and accuracy. And so accuracy is really important. Timers come out, but just because the timer comes out doesn't mean it's always a race of time. Sometimes the timer comes out as a tool to measure how fast can you complete the accuracy objective, which is hard for people to do. That was an experience I think most people struggled, particularly under time. Even when a time wasn't given, but just the fact that there was a timer, people would struggle, and myself included, to meet the accuracy standard, because you're trying to race and you're getting ahead of yourself. And so establish, hey, can you even perform the task? And after you can perform the task, then start pushing your speed to be able to do it better and faster. They did a really good job of creating an environment for people to explore things on their own. The contrast though to some training is some people do that, and I think it's maybe because they're lazy, where they did it in such a way that they had either specific performance criteria or they had specific technique that they wanted you to explore, right? So it's like, here are these things, go do this thing, go do this drill and do this task, change your grip in this way to experience it. Now and measure that. Now do this other drill, do the same drill and make this change and measure that, and like compare those two. What do you think, right? So there definitely was a whole lot of self-exploration going on, but I think the thing that made it stand out to me was how they put structure and they measured performance around all of that self-exploration. And that was, super helpful. It was a super fun class, and I think both Bill and Mark are underrated, and people should probably take their class. And I say that as somebody who's taken a lot of classes, and there's a lot of great instructors out there, but I would say definitely that experience stands out in my mind as one of the higher quality, higher performance courses that I've been to. So, and people, if you're not training with them, you guys are missing out. And I know it's hard sometimes because it's like, oh, it's just some competitive shooter guy or just some SWAT guy, and they don't have whatever resume, but that doesn't necessarily translate into making people better and high levels of performance. And both of those guys are guys that have high standards of performance and have put in the work to get to the point where they are at.